Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
Welcome, art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs, to another episode of Proof of Comics, edition number 31. We got a special guest tonight, but before we get to him, let me introduce my co-host here. I should have all these queued up already. Find the button. Here we go.
A man that I call Bob.
Blow.
How you doing, Billy Bob?
Tired, and I'm fixing to make some popcorn. Be right back.
All right, then let's get to our next co-host. You know him as Wrangler from Frequency Studios.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, doing great, man. How you doing, Wrangler?
Doing okay.
Nice.
In fact, I'm hoping next week to get onto the next book in my list. One somebody here might have heard of is called Mortal Descent.
Ah, nice choice. Nice choice. I look forward to hear what you think about it, man. And also which story within it is your favorite.
Oh no, I'm going to be starting it next week. I should be finishing off my current book and jumping into that one next week.
Right.
I didn't start it yet.
Right.
Nice. Welcome, AC Pritchard. Thank you for coming on tonight, man. It's cool to have you on.
Now that you're here, I'm wishing I read those two books in the opposite order.
You're good. You're good. It's a quick read. I kind of realized something when I was getting into, getting back into writing and making comics and stuff. It's really nice to respect people's time with the short form. not that I'm dogging long form, because I'm actually currently editing my 150K word novel or whatever. I still think everybody needs a chonker, because there's some people who just like digging into a world really in depth, you know, and like in it for the long haul kind of thing. But for the most part, I think, you know, short stories are, there's something to that, because
I agree with you.
yeah,
My
'cause-
first book was a quick read. My second turned out to, it wasn't intentional, but became a chonker. Now that
Yeah.
I'm working on the third and fourth, I'm like, how can I make these more the length of the first book?
right.
And is everything in the same universe? Like, is every story part of the same world? Or are you going from one world to another and exploring different universes?
It is one continuity that spans two different universes. It starts in one and then it switches over to the other. They are parallel universes, so it's like there's not really is. It seems more like timeline differences. There's no physics differences between the two. But when the main series is over, they're going to go out and start, you know, visiting all these different places. That's going to be the more fun stuff, adventures. You know, they're going to go into a universe with different physics and stuff like that. But you know, for the time being, it's just one. However, AC,
Yes, sir.
is your Mortal Descent this bit of an anthology?
Yeah, it's all set in the same universe. So it's like the same planet. You want to think of it that way. I mean, my whole epic evil plan here is to have like a bunch of stories that take place when there's only one moon in the sky, and then so much time passes that there's 3 moons in the sky, and you know, I can basically, it's like my sandbox to play with
Nice.
any story, you know, like any technology.
My ride is here.
Say again.
My ride is here.
Oh, beep beep. What up, Bad Sauce?
Oh,
But-
yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I just
You know, you have to get his name right. It's Butt Sauce.
Butt Sauce, yeah.
After,
two more,
after 7
2 more
o'clock.
hours. Oh, after 7. I thought it was after 10.
Well,
Nice to
it's
see you, Butt
7:07
Sauce.
for me, so it's after 7.
Bad Sauce, you had the most watched episode to date on Proof of Comics, just so you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
And now with AC Pritchard here tonight, we
Another
have,
Iron Seas.
yeah, we have 2/3 of the Iron Seas.
No,
Well-
quarters.
Half, yes.
Oh, half.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so Kahuna and who's the other?
Evele.
Oh,
Evele.
Evele, right. Okay.
You made Evely. Well, actually, no. He's the co-host of Iron Age Nights. If you're familiar with that, I was gonna say maybe you haven't heard of him because he's more.
No,
on
I
the
have,
side of
yeah.
things.
I mean, I've heard his music for about a year now.
Oh, cool.
See, he's been in the Iron Age space as well, like around.
I thought it was
races.
more because of your gaping hole. You know?
Gaping
What?
hole. What?
You say that's because of my massive penis, and I'm like,
Oh,
well,
there you
I don't think that's how you got that name, buddy.
go.
You're getting absorbed by your big character behind you.
Thanks, man. This is fresh off the hot off the presses, so to speak. The cover C, done by Luke Stone Studio. He sent this over today. He's got some final touches to put on it, you know. But
Nice.
yeah, he sent me 2 versions. One is like a more desaturated version with basically just the eye and the horns popping out. Like when you look at the minor details, you can see his beard is still brown and everything is like, but it's all washed out. And it just like has the horns and the eye popping.
And it looks like there's a celestial cosmic event happening in the background.
Yeah, I want every
You
story.
look like you have the horns of Unicron when you sit dead center.
Yep. I surprised Evely with that one time on the show. I think we were getting serious or something, and I just switched it over, and he started laughing because he's like, AC just became an orc king.
Yeah, because at least the comic I've read in Anvil magazine, it's the orcs are the main characters, right? The
Yes.
comic you guys are, and is that the same with like your long form as well, your novel and your shorts? Is it come down to the orcs? Are they your like species of choice?
I decided to go with three main species since, you know, 3 is a good number. And you know, I went with humans, orcs, and reptilians because I feel like, you can branch off in a lot of directions through all the traditional fantasy races in that regard. I could, if I wanted to, I could add bird people, and they would technically be an offshoot of the reptilians, right? There's
Nice.
a lot of directions you can go with that. Yeah, even like the deep ones.
The
Um,
chosen
e-
bird people.
right, right. Yeah. But like, yeah, even the deep ones, you can give them like a more reptilian feel, and then all of a sudden they're kind of a distant relative of reptilians as
Right.
well, just like an aquatic variety.
Subspecies and nuances and
Yeah,
family traits.
exactly. But then like the orcs, that's almost like well, like I'm a huge fan of like, real history and stuff as far as we understand it, just because I'm a type of person who needs to understand everything
Hmm.
to really digest it. Um, and there's about 7 million years of evolutionary history, according to the mainstream uh, sources, and plenty of offshoots of humans. There's us in our current form, sure, but we're kind of like an amalgamation of all of them coming back together, or whatever survived all the events coming together, and then now it's us right now as we know us, right?
They talk like the Neanderthals are gone. Hey, buddy, I'm right here.
Exactly. Yeah. No, there's a bunch of people who have Neanderthal DNA.
You
Yeah.
probably loved my Geico commercials.
I know a lot of people who haven't discovered fire yet.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's
my
quite
dog.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your origin story. So how did you get into the sci-fi writing? Because I know you've got a musical background as well. So did you write when you were growing up, or is this something new you got into recently?
I'm gonna keep muting as my dogs bark here. Sorry about them. There's
Yeah, no,
like the
no
neighbor
problems.
dog barking and they're freaking out. But yeah, I have been basically writing like my whole life. Started in high school, got in the creative writing class. English kind of stood out to me more than like math, for example, and it started early. Um, couldn't help but get inspired by like games I'd play and stuff like RPGs, and there was like certain online text-based games. I think it was called Kings of Chaos at the time. I remember just because you're forced to imagine a lot of what's going on based on like just very quick descriptions, and
Oh
that's the
yeah.
entire game.
Oh yeah. I
Um,
remember Zork, which was a text-only game
yeah,
on the Commodore. Yeah.
yeah.
You had to use your
So
imagination back then.
exactly, it's kind of fun. I mean, I don't know what you could probably do that with just like Chat GPT at this point. But I digress. Uh, it went from that to like, because my terrible eyesight, I have to like watch movies and play video games. That's where I absorbed a lot of my stories as a kid. And like, that text-based game, it's just reading. And so from there it branched into just messing around, kind of writing really like really long, terrible, I don't know, knockoff, like, young high schooler kind of like fantasy.
Hmm.
And I mean, even at the time I could recognize it because I remember forcing myself to continue forward so much because every time I reread anything that I wrote previously, like the day before, I would just be fixing it and fixing it. Just like, common writer problems. I was like kind of learning all that at the time. Uh, but when I realized I kind of liked writing in movies and stuff, like towards the latter part of my high school career, I jumped into my local newspaper where I got to, the trade was, they didn't want to cover all the sporting events for the high school because they were kind of lazy. So they figured it'd be cool to have like a high school kid like me cover the sporting events. And when I asked them for the job initially, what I wanted to do was review movies. So they were like, okay, we'll pay you really cheap per article. That's our first thing. And the second thing is you gotta cover the sporting events sometimes. And I'm just like, okay. But they gave me a press pass. I got to go see movies for free and just flash the badge and sit there and watch 3 movies in a row and review
Dude,
them.
that's like a superpower when you're a kid. You're like, all right, man,
Yeah,
access to movies.
it was a dream come true for sure. It was pretty cool. And even now as an adult, like here's how like powerful a job like that actually is. Like even now as an adult, I can still talk about that and say that I have like I have experience in journalism, and I was technically press at one point, even though it was like technically my high school job. It's still like that's when you're learning a lot of stuff. But eventually I drifted away from there because I couldn't review it. I couldn't rate anything lower than like a 6.5, because in their words, they wanted people to go see movies. So it was low key advertisement for the theater,
Yeah.
But from there,
Early lessons of the shilling game, right?
exactly. And I'm like, oh, okay, bye, but
Back when everybody loved the movie theater.
yeah. Oh, I miss those days, guys. I miss those days.
Same here.
Right? When I was delivering pizzas, we used to fight over who got to deliver to the movie theater, because when the people who work in there ordered pizza, they would tip us with free movie pizzas.
Oh man, that's bonus.
Yeah, our theater, man, I remember the boss because at that same time I was trying to get my main job as a projectionist at that theater, which that would have been another dream come true, and I was really close to doing it. But what they ended up doing is giving the job to like town royalty, basically, because it was a small town. So it was like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I'm friends with this person whose kid is in this sport or something, So they DEI'd the situation before DEI.
Put in applications to be a projectionist just
Nepotism.
because I wanted to be able to see the movies for free.
Oh, it would have doubled down. You know what that would have done for me? And I probably could have finagled my way into this still, because the guy knew me. I forget his name now, but the owner of the theater, he knew me and he was happy to see me every time, trying to get good ratings. But I probably, if I would have got the job as a projectionist, now I have access to all the like movie posters, the cutouts, all the extra shit that they got to figure out what to do with.
Paraphernalia galore.
Yeah, that's what, dude. There's a lot of reasons why I want. Like, we've all seen the old '80s movie where like the kids hanging out in the back of the theater while everybody's watching a movie, thinking about going on an adventure or something, and it's like, yeah.
And they had some beautiful movie posters back then. They were works of art, a lot of them.
Did. But yeah, after all that, I just jumped right into music. Spent a decade in that, learning its own pitfalls, and in hindsight, I realized kind of just learning how to write poetry in that regard, right? And eventually found my wife, got married. She wanted me to do music again, and I was like, I actually wanted to write later in my life and maybe do some voice acting kind of thing, see
Interesting.
how everything kind of goes into the next thing.
Yeah,
and
I know the feeling.
yeah. And so, like, yeah, needless to say, she kind of talked me into doing something, and I chose writing. And from there, it's inevitable. I got to give a shout out to Evely, who, he just kind of got a whiff of me being a musician, and he started talking to me, checked out my old music, kind of like connected some dots, and was like, no, you need to do music or something again. And he sent me this mic that I'm still using right now. So shout out to
cool.
Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't have like really gotten back into music, or at least not that quickly. I probably wouldn't have even gotten into podcasting. So, yeah, just having a mic, man, simple. And I mean, to be honest, I don't use it every show, just important ones like this where I'm a guest, or if I'm doing a special or something.
Did you hear that, guys? We're an important show. Clip that.
Yeah. I typically use
it's okay when Frederick says clip that, but beware when Billy says clip that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad thing you just did when Billy starts laughing and says clip that.
Yeah, it's like phrasing.
Yeah.
Like, you can get a long way with your laptop speakers these days, because like StreamYard does a lot of the heavy lifting. It wants us all to be on the same level and clear and stuff, because it's trying to compete with other services.
Yeah, it makes it really simple.
Yeah. So I don't really even need the mic, but I pull it out when I want it nice, strong, clear, when I'm a guest.
They say the mic's the most important thing in even in podcasting. Like, even when you have video, that you need clear audio.
Oh yeah, I still use my this right here. This is my laptop camera. That's probably one thing I need to upgrade at some point. Is an actual like good camera. But I mean, little blurry, it's fine.
Yeah, people are more forgiving with the video stuff.
Yeah. especially like the content I like to make on YouTube is a little bit more like essay type stuff where I'm going over things. So it's just the important thing is what I'm saying, and then I just I can show different images or video clips on screen while I'm talking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Same here. Like no one wants to see my face. I'm like, here I am drawing.
Sometimes I'll cut back to myself and then do goofy things like all of a sudden I'm upside down or the color inverts if I need to like prove a point. Zooms in really quick, it shakes.
Proving my powers of changing the fabric of reality.
Yeah, like usually it's like when I haven't edited something in the video for a while, I'm like, I gotta do something. Okay, cut, invert, shake. But
there's some people who seem to like think they have to do that every sentence, though.
Right.
You ever see those where like they start off with a sentence, and like 3 particular words is zoomed in on their face, and then it comes back out, and then it snaps out further and slowly starts.
Yeah, like hyper edits, the kind you see on
TikTok.
Yeah, and stuff.
Like,
yeah.
I like to cut to I like to cut to as many clips of Martin Luther King as possible.
That's the way. Yeah.
James,
and if you could like line up his lips with what you're saying, then it's even better.
Well, you could do that with AI easily now. It's
you can.
I hear that was it on Netflix? They are now, when you change languages, they do AI shifting of the mouth of the dubbing in the other language.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's only going to feed back into itself
really
too.
Unnerving at the same time.
That's only going to feed back into itself too, because it's going to learn as it goes. Think about it: a new movie, new mouth, a bunch of new mouths moving that it has to fix, and each time it fixes, it remembers that for the next fix. And yeah, it's going to get seamless at it. That's what that is. That's Netflix helping it.
Hey, you know those videos where somebody takes like a still image, and there's like a cutout, and then an actual mouth moving in the hole there. So
now you really
you turn on a movie on Netflix and everybody looks like that.
Ancestral way of doing it. Yeah.
I mean, I wish that was the way, the low effort like cutout where it's a human mouth but a still image,
but
like SpongeBob and Hecklefish from Y-Files. It's just so funny.
Annoying orange.
Yeah.
Before we get too sidetracked, I wanted to ask you: is this the first time you're working with an artist on a comic book, or have you worked on comics in the past?
I looked into comics on and off. Like before my wife, for example, because the idea for my novel actually started with an establishing shot in my head. And at the time, it's just like it was a colonial ship with cannons shooting at a pyramid on a tropical island, like whatever.
I said a lot of shit last week. I don't remember which.
Yeah, you'll
way
have
different
to
now.
give us a time frame, Patrick, or a clip here. Clip it or it didn't happen.
I talked shit about Muhammad like last week quite a bit.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
There's a friend of mine, an artist friend of mine. Shout outs to Josiah Letourneau. His dad is Tony Letourneau, he's not like famous, but he's you could Google him and stuff. He's like an established artist in some level of the zeitgeist, whatever. Like he's done some like children's books and like done some actual like board games. But I went to high school with Josiah, which is Tony's son, and I learned a lot about art just from being friends with him and actually staying with their family for a bit. I got to see even how Tony did his paintings and stuff. Like he had paintings of his family all over the walls. One of his kids, he turned into Superman. So he's pulling his button shirt open and there's an S under there. And it's just crazy painting, you know what I mean? Like imagine if like Leonardo da Vinci or some other established painter decided to paint their own family member. They're going to put a lot into it and make it look good, but yeah, so I mean, and I've gotten many tattoos as well, so it's not like my first artist I've worked with, at all. As far, and you think of all my album covers and a bunch of stuff that came before, but I will say it is my first official artist on an official comic book, right? Because I talked to Josiah a little bit like about that establishing shot, and I was trying to get him early on before like I even knew Iron Age was a thing, Because me and him worked at the same place too after high school. Oddly enough, years later, we kind of reconnected, and we would talk about nerdy stuff at work. And this was one of them, like, let's make a comic book kind of thing. But I needed his art, and I was willing to do all the writing. And it didn't work out because he's a family man too. He's got a big family of his own, and obviously working all the time. And to this day, I would still love to have Josiah come in and do a comic with me. Like, I'll have plenty of short stories, bro. Like, if he's listening to this ever, Josiah, come do a comic. I text him every now and then, and he doesn't say no, but he says no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of time to draw a comic. It's a big commitment sometimes.
Mm-hmm. But I saw Luke Stone on Iron Age Nights, and I heard his whole story, much like I'm talking right now. And I was like, dude, this guy's awesome. And I hit him up right away, and because I was shopping artists at the time, because I really wanted to see what one of my short stories would look like in a comic. And I realized, it translates kind of nicely. In hindsight, I know now that it's a thick comic. It's a graphic novel, actually.
Right. Oh man.
But
yeah, tell me about it.
I'm cool with that. I like graphic novels. That's fine. As long as it still gets to be like in comic format. But yeah,
Exactly.
I basically just stopped considering anybody else from that point, and I was just like, yeah, Luke is my guy. And I told him that too, and he was on board with it right away. So I presented him with the 3 ideas I had from Mortal Descent that Wrangler mentioned earlier, those 3 stories, and he chose Flying Orc Vikings. And I kept it really simple like that. I was just like, reptilian queen, whatever, and then like undead soldier dies 1,000 times, and then like flying orc Vikings, and he chose the Vikings. So
because the Vikings are badass, man. The captain has like a missing nose or something.
Well, basically the captain, because in Viking culture there is a distinction between like the captain and the owner. They're often the same thing, but there's a huge distinction that the owner of the ship is the owner of the ship. Like, that's his ship. So even if there's like somebody else who has like some sort of level of command, you still have to consider that that's the freaking owner of the ship. So the way it's set up is like the king is also the owner of the ship, and then there's the jarl, who's gonna become the king. He's been basically offered the crown in exchange for this quest, which is the king wants to die on his own terms, somewhere peaceful, far away from home, which is
Coming to Canada. I mean, we got the maid service.
right. He kind of is flying to Canada in a way, but not that cold. Maybe like BC Canada, like summertime. yeah, something like that. But yeah. So that's like the antithesis of orc beliefs. Just the long short of it is like, very much, there's a reason I chose Vikings. They're my orcs are always going to be like the Vikings or the Mongols or the Huns, that type of person in the story. And they believe in a god of life and a god of death, a mother of life and a father of death, and neither of them are necessarily good or evil, because like a mother's kindness can become weakness and a father's wrath can become sin, right? And like they live in Arctic, like an Arctic tundra biome in like the polar regions. Say again?
So they're already in Canada.
Yeah, and they're going to the land of summer. Yeah, basically the fabled. There's somewhere on the other side of the world there's like summer, and they're right. It's just near the equator, and there's an ocean in between them, which they fly across.
It's called Kokomo.
I got a little technical question here for you.
Sure.
Is Luke adapting straight from your book, or are you doing like adapting the portion of the book into a actual comic book script, or what's your technical what way are you writing it up into the final script that Luke is turning into a page? Is basically what I'm asking.
So as much as I'd love to just be able to like, I'll send you my book, and then they send me a comic. That'd be really that would be really cool. Not gonna lie, that would be really, like, artists out there. If you can do that at some point, props to you. But yeah, I took the liberty of looking into script writing a little bit, because I actually was already researching it for my novel. I was trying to perfect my dialogue. Because dialogue was one of the trickiest things for me to learn. I actually still, to this day, I have to kind of channel the conversation and kind of like put myself in a different mindset where I'm kind of just like ad-libbing in a way. There's no way I can just plan a natural conversation between even just two people in a fictional setting.
Yeah,
It's just like too much like I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would come off like very wooden, like they're in a play, like a really dry play is what it would come off.
Almost like a method actor. You have to like put yourself in the scene and the character in the moment, and have your roots in the character's roots, and so that it comes naturally, the way of speaking or the mannerism, the emotion.
And you got to figure out how deep you want to go with it too. Like, do you purposely misspell words to convey an accent, or do you just kind of say he has an accent? There's a whole bunch of different things. But I studied like screenplays and stuff for dialogue, and very good stuff. Especially, honorable mention to Pulp Fiction. Probably one of the most, snap your fingers, go check that out kind of thing if you want to learn about dialogue. But particularly, I believe it's a scene with Bruce Willis where he's buying a pack of smokes, just like bang, bang, boom, back and forth. It's done. The whole scene it's just like, wow, what just happened?
Now I got to ask, what did you end up doing to convey the accent?
I typically go on the safe side and just say thick with accent or something like that. I describe it, but I'm not afraid to be like erg or something like that every now and then, like spell the word erg or something. I still haven't quite figured out where my line is. I just know I don't want to cross it, so I'm more hesitant.
Do you have some where you do convey it in spelling, and others where you just say, yeah, he's got an accent, and you just like, that's not what I'm messing with?
Yeah, none that jump out at me, but yeah, and especially editing my novel, I think there's a couple times where I was just like, no, I'm just going to take that out, nix, cut, it's out, next, moving on. And I remember when I was doing my last edit on it, I was so hesitant to cut anything because I was like, I don't want to like, just the what if scenario, I guess.
Yeah, you got to cut a lot when you turn it into a comic, because comics are short.
It's like building a house.
I actually did that with an Irish accent. I just mentioned in the book he had an accent, and then in the follow-up short story, I said screw it, and I did it with the spelling. And it was an Irish accent, and Daniel P. Riley asked me, oh, yeah, how many apostrophes did you use? And I said, all the apostrophes.
I broke the key of apostrophe on my keyboard.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's like, what do you do? Because Royce, shout out to A Drink with Crazy, he's actually the character of Durham. This is a separate thing. This is my free series on Substack, my all ages stuff. But he plays basically an old Irish guy, right? And he I kind of spelled out the words in that case a little bit, like as much as I could without cringing myself,
Dude, guess who the character of the Irish accent was based on?
Royce.
Yep. That's why I decided to do it, because I was mimicking how he did his Irish accent when he was doing the Star Shatter games. I based it on that, so that's why I decided to spell it up that time.
Him sneaking that damn accent in there every now and then is what got my attention initially, and I was like, I actually have the perfect character for that, and he even has a goat. So
that's awesome.
I never say
it's hilarious. We both did We both did a character based on Royce with an Irish accent.
Yep. And he does a good job at. I have the file saved here somewhere too. I'm gonna add them into the audiobook. That's what I'm doing with the audiobooks for my free stuff. Is I'm
Royce
gonna
has
have
done a
voice
few.
actors.
Yeah, he's done a few voice participation in projects.
He really is
Ruthless.
a vocal talent.
Yeah, he is. He should keep doing that. He should become like I mean, honestly, Royce would
Be a
do.
voice actor.
Well, he would be great at audiobooks. Just read it to us,
Yeah,
Royce.
he would.
Yeah. And then, you mess up, pause, back it up, snip that, continue, or whatever. Just read it straight through with all the mess ups and cut, and then listen to it another time straight through and cut out all the mess ups. I know that's a little bit of work on like something like Sanderson where it's 60 plus hours, but
Oh yeah.
you can get it done,
Doing a script for a half-hour YouTube video,
That's
going
fine.
through and editing that out and doing other takes and stuff. I'm like, wow, this took me like 2 weeks to get together. And then I thought, what are people who are actually in voice acting got to do, or audiobook narration? That must be insane.
Yeah, I made I'm making the one for my free series, and I made I'm like editing the one that I got from the voice actor who did Mortal Descent. All three of those are in audio form too. He's currently redoing it, but I have the other ones, and I edited them a little bit and added some music.
They're
They sound
available in
good.
audio.
They're not available, but I have them.
Oh,
I could send you one if you want.
I was gonna say I was gonna go buy the audiobook tonight, and I can just listen to it because I drive for work.
Oh, right. I know. I wanted it available in audio as quickly as possible, and I'll tell you, I will probably do my chunker, my current novel that I'm editing. I'll do that myself, and I'll probably have my wife come in and do some cool stuff with it.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you have a pretty good voice, so that'll work.
And she
I
has a
already
female
decided
voice.
I am never doing my own audiobook.
It can be tricky, but here's the thing. Here's the key. The same is true with music, like really anything. Drawing, Frederick can attest to this. There's an eraser. You got unlimited time. No, you don't have to hit the publish button until you feel good with it. Like there's stuff like that.
Yeah, but he needs to hurry up. We got like Black Tarzan in the works.
There's exceptions like George R.R. Martin and
Billy's working me
Rothfuss.
hard, man.
There's
but,
also a matter of I just don't like the way I sound, so
That's I mean,
it's not something I can
that's
change.
everybody though.
yeah, but also that is everybody, and that also at the end of the day, it's also a huge reason why some people just
Well, I don't mean I don't like how my voice sounds outside of my own head. I mean, like trying to get it to come out a certain way, and I just can't get it to match what I'm trying to do.
I know
Again, your comparison to drawing is right there, but
yeah, like you're so confident you draw the shape, and you're like, oh no, that doesn't look like it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Roy
But,
Dorchus.
but you have a good
Yeah.
radio like voice, so you would probably be able to do that very well.
Yeah, and you have like two podcasts that I know of, right? You have Pub Pritchard as well as the Iron Seas.
Yes, and
So how did those get started?
well, Pritchard Pub is me and my wife. Just hopped on and started. Like we were both fans of Iron Age Nights, and we saw what they're doing. Like I watched Friday Night Tights and other things like that.
Same here for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, where they kind of highlight indies a little bit, and it's cool. Like even Tim Pool had like EVS on, right? And every now and then has like a creative. There's a bunch of things like that happening.
There's John Della Rose was on Pop Culture Crisis. He may have been on Timcast that same day. I'm not sure.
But yeah, and so we decided to just do, me and her kind of emulating Rogan a little bit. That's kind of like but like if Rogan showcased the guests project a little bit, right? Just a little bit. So it's like
Rogan is just conversation. That's it. Yeah.
Right. And we tried to keep it like conversation. Like we don't even get to like the project right away. My wife usually opens up by like asking what they do and stuff, and then like asking about family. Like, are you married? Do you have kids? Like stuff like that. And we have a very short, usually kind of separate conversation right away, and then we eventually we get into their project, and I kind of try to go back and forth with them if I can, where like maybe they say some aspect of their project, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool, way to do a magic system. This is how my magic system is. Tell me more about your project. You know what I mean? Kind of like it's more back and forth instead of just like, all right, shoot your shot, go, silence, and then they just
Oh yeah,
go
like
for
like this, basically like a conversation, and
exactly. Yeah,
yeah, that's the best part of
this is
Joe Rogan.
comfortable. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
comfortable for me.
Yeah,
So.
because you get into
I mean,
what
we
the
can bury him easily, make it not comfortable.
Billy Bob is good at that as well.
You will try. You will try.
So yeah, just back back to the question of the comic script. So, did you like take your novel and just like cut it up into a comic book, and give Luke a finished script? What did that look like? What did that final process kind of look like? I'm curious.
Yeah, apologies for not finishing that.
No, it's totally normal. That's the whole show.
Yeah, you
is
should be ashamed of
sidetrack.
yourself, AC. I mean, Jesus.
I'll grab my whip.
No, I mean it's just a selfish question because I'm super interested in that whole process, because I'm myself discovering how to write with this project. I've drawn a lot, but I've never kind of like done the whole thing, and I'm super curious about writers and their process, and
So
yeah.
So I talked to John Douglas about this once, and I am planning on doing a video. I don't know which one of the Iron Seas boys. Maybe Evely, maybe Bad Sauce, maybe Kahuna. Who knows? But we want to make one. We want to put one out that's like how to turn your story into a comic, right? And this all comes from, I have to give a shout outs to my used copy of the Game of Thrones graphic novel book 2. So it's the
Clash of Kings.
George R. Martin book 1, right? But it's the second book of the graphic novel
Yeah.
for that one. Okay. And in the back of that one, I got a used copy from Goodwill. By the way, any mainstream stuff that you just want to check out or whatever, Goodwill, it's like under $10 for like graphic novels. Come on. Used a few bucks sometimes. Like, come on. But in the back of that, it had a whole section of just like how to. It showed the pencils, the inks. It showed the colors. It showed the notes that the editor, like the people made to each other.
Dude, I love the
So
back parts with the
AC
making of and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to add on to this a bit because I actually own the first one.
Ooh, sick.
Part 1 of the first book of the graphic novel adaptation.
I thought they did good.
In the back of that one, it specifically like shows the prose in the book and the dialogue and how they shorten the dialogue to make it work as well. Went through that process.
Oh yeah. And yeah, so they broke it down pretty good. More importantly, they showed a segment of the script. I don't know if they have that. I can't remember if that's in one, because I got all of them, but I can't remember if that's in one or if that's just a book 2 thing. But they showed a part of the script.
I mean, I'm playing the game right now, but once I'm done with this thing, I'll actually grab my copy and look.
You're good, no rush.
I know the script for the comic doesn't look more like a screenplay script than
A little bit, yeah. So we're seeing some crossovers. There's going to be like nuances, right? Like and technical, like, oh, this area of the page is it's labeled as this. It's called this. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like there's the technical side of like everything, including just like poetry, right? Like a stanza, and like they have their own terminology and stuff. But at the end of the day, if you hold them side by side, they're basically the same thing. So again, I kind of like turned this rock over and realized it's like comfortable territory. And I'm like, oh, I was studying this. And I just like wrote a script, right? And basically, just to really simplify it, I took my book out, I read it line by line, and I imagined it like a movie in my head. I took it very slowly and I read it line by line to myself and imagined it like a movie in my head. And I made sure to get the movie onto the page in a way that the artist could read it. And I was just assuming that Luke would know how to read a script at the same time. So I have to preface, I didn't like say, how do you want this, Luke? I was like, I just gave him a script, right? Because I feel like that. I mean, like if that's what they're doing for like the Game of Thrones graphic novel, then surely Luke, who's also a professional, would be able to read it. And I was right. Um, and it works out. And I mean, I feel like if you have that, at least you can. It'll be a good baseline to start a conversation with your artist, you know. But yeah, taking it line by line and scene by scene, and just like establishing shot, and then kind of getting a rhythm for it, like starting to feel out if you can fit all the elements into like what
Were
you're
you,
seeing in your head.
yeah, were you cutting up pages and panels at this point, or keeping it like a movie script with just the scenes?
Keeping it like a movie script, and basically keeping my script a little bit more informal than you might typically see, meaning I wasn't afraid to use whatever language I needed to use to really convey what I freaking wanted to see in the scene, even if I was repeating myself or whatever. Even if I had to add another little sidebar or an asterisk, or like make this whole section underlined so it's its own thing, or a different font size, you know, like just whatever I needed to do to have like its own thing, but it also stood out so he see it when he's reading it and do that thing. Like, oh, in this particular panel, make sure you do this. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, yeah.
So you don't have to overthink it is the other thing. And I think, you know, unless you're working with a huge artist, you know, uh, if you're working with a big one, maybe having a couple other people take a look at your script and make sure that everything sounds good and is conveying everything right, and try to ease back on the informality. But I still wouldn't be afraid to just have an informal note in there, just like, "Hey, Mike, do this," whatever. Yeah, um, yeah, and so yeah, you're basically describing a movie, and it's just like very it's easier and it's super fun because you're basically you're discovering a movie in your head, especially when you go back and read it all the way through. It's like, oh crap, and the movie forces its way through your head. I bet there's people out there that prefer to read and digest all stories in script form. I 100% bet there's people out there
I
that
wouldn't
are
be
like that.
surprised.
Yeah,
On the flip
I
side,
love reading scripts.
Yeah.
on the flip side, when they take a screenplay script, they go and make a storyboard of it. Pretty much, they turn it into a comic.
Exactly,
Yep.
brother.
Yeah. I
And did
actually
you-
recently took one of my stories before the holiday season and turned it into a radio play script because I just love radio plays. I did very much a lot of the similar things, like, oh, this is actually way easier than write this freaking short story. And still, you can really get all those emotional bangers in there as well. That's what Patrick Quinlan is replying to. He's voicing one of the characters in that radio play that hopefully will get
Nice.
done in the next, hopefully like 2 months. I'm aiming for to get that out
It's
there.
going to
It's,
be fun.
yes. So that's going to be a good little horror one that I'll be producing shortly.
Shout out to Patrick and the Comic Skate
Yeah.
Commandos. We got a show tomorrow with Luke Stone.
Good show.
Yeah,
Good show. To
the
tune
artist in
into.
question we've been talking about.
Might
And
have
we're going to
some-
ask him the same questions and see if your answers line up there.
Hopefully,
If
he might be
your
like,
story holds up.
he might be like, he sent me a script and it looked like Egyptian. I did my best. I assumed he was retarded. You know, he might say stuff like that.
Welcome, like Egyptian.
And did the story change when you were adapting it, or was it a strict adapting format and you were just in the format space?
So I have to preface by saying I am one of the first and foremost people to be like, stick to the source material, you know, and
Yeah.
like burning these mainstream IPs at the stake for disgracing, you know, rest in peace Halo, you know, honorable mention Lord of the Rings. Yeah, no, it's pretty comparable.
Bad.
I don't know if it's worse or not. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
They're both really bad.
Yeah. I'm the first one to be like no to that stuff. But I'm also, you know, I've worked with a lot of artists in my day, all my tattoos and stuff, all the stuff I mentioned. And for this particular one, and since I know I'm going to be doing a lot more short stories, this is my first one ever. And I'm just like, this is special. I like Luke. So I didn't even bug him at all with, he basically has full creative freedom. I put my notes in the script. I gave him a free copy of my book so he can read it. which I don't know if he has yet or not. I assume he has, and same with Mark Hatherley, my other artist, who's doing A Gift of Ghosts. I assume he's read it, which they'll get the feel if they read it. Wrangler will know what I mean when he's reading it.
Do you have two comic book projects going on simultaneously, or is this a past project?
Well, Mark, I have a deal with Mark going where it's like, yo, no time limit, take your time, and he's like, okay, I'll do it cheap. So
Nice.
and like the money doesn't have to be up front with him as long, and it's really cool. So he gets to like just practice, work on his thing, and help me with the comic, and I'm steadily getting pages. I think he has over half of the script I sent him, which is a third of the story. So.
And how many pages would that be?
Well, I did them in like 24-page segments.
Okay.
Each one's going to be graphic novel. That's about, guys, about 10,000 words. 8 to 10,000 words equals about 60, 70 pages in comic book form, just so you know. Unless and you can stretch that out too with splash pages if you want. So it could be like 100 pages if you want.
You could even have double splash pages.
And that's
You mean
like
spread eagle?
8 to 12,000, right? That's not that many words. That's a short story. Really
Listen,
short.
AC, I gotta correct you. The new term is spread eagle pages.
Deal. Yeah, the spread eagle ones. Is that when it's the double splash?
Yes.
Oh yeah, spread eagle page. I gotta do one of them now. I gotta do.
I got two in my comic. Yeah.
Oh, shit, dude. I'm gonna have to.
So Patrick is asking where you were on the 15th.
Let me see, where were you on the night of the 15th? Oh, you got me.
Careful, you might want to talk to your lawyer before you answer that.
Oh wait, December 15th. That was my wife's birthday, so I was hanging out with her. Whew. Airtight alibi. Thank you. Thank you, wife. Shout out
We got
to wife.
James as our podcast lawyer here, so
Yeah, you don't have to answer that.
Oh, damn it! I answered.
Yeah, it's okay though.
Damn it!
It's okay. You got an alibi.
I dig the reptilian lawyer. I'm all about it.
Thank you.
If I ever, yeah, dude.
you got to have one.
Yeah.
AC, I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
It's
We're
fitting
almost-
with RK.
We're almost as good, but not as good as the Jewish lawyers.
Yeah, and you just feed them crickets.
Right.
Yeah.
So, real quick here, since my podcast will be starting shortly, I don't mind if I'm
Yes,
a
of
little late.
course.
I don't mind if I'm a little late, but just to keep pace here. So yeah, I just imagined it all as a movie, and it's very kind of like writing a prompt for AI or something, except you're talking to like Luke Stone or whoever your artist is. I mean, I would generalize it if you don't have an artist chosen yet and you're just working on your script or whatever. But I knew I knew how to do it, so I talked to Luke first and kind of did that in reverse order. I was like, okay, now I got an artist, I'll go work on the script.
So
But,
you could
like-
write things like, "This is the thing, Luke, I was telling you about at the
Yeah.
restaurant with the napkin drawing."
Exactly. Yeah. I'll send you this on X or whatever. I'll send you a picture of this on X or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it very much is just like you just describe it. And I tried to, if you study cinematography a little bit, like I mentioned, an establishing shot, there's extreme long shots, there's the American cowboy shot, there's
yeah.
one of my favorites, the Dutch angle. Ooh, you get that nice Dutch angle in there, especially if it's an establishing shot. Nice bird's eye view. That's a good one. If you
So
learn,
you're giving him all the shots, all the camera shots.
I try to, yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
very much try to. And that's what I'm kind of saying is like, it's okay to be a little informal and a little wordy in your script. If you get a few of the correct terminologies in there that trigger that thing in the artist's brain, where now they're suddenly seeing the same thing you're seeing in your head, right? So like, yeah, even if you don't like know what like an extreme like a bird's eye view establishing shot with a Dutch angle is, which just it's slightly tilted to convey that something is off and to convey unease and stuff like that.
Wait, where's my clip?
You know where a great example of that was in the first Avengers movie,
Where?
when they were all on the what's it called, the helicarrier. That's the word. They were all on the helicarrier, and they were the future Avengers. They were all standing around in a circle and they were arguing, and then the camera started to tilt, and then it moved, and it kind of was going past everyone's face, but it was tilting and wavering as it went, and then it turned upside down, resting on the staff with a Mind Stone to convey. this thing messing with them.
If you watch the camera, it conveys a lot, and the same transfers over to comics, right? Just the angle, like I try to say, like upward, like man, it's, and I'm still not 100% sure if I'm doing it quite right, but he's been like picking up when I'm laying down, so I think I'm doing it. And like I'll say something like an upward angle shot, you know,
We used to call them worm's eye view.
yeah, worm's eye view. I'll say stuff like that, over the shoulder. I'll say stuff like that. And I'll try to describe, like, make sure Hyman is in the lower left, corner of the panel, and most of it is taken up by this. I've even like used terms like make sure it has like a biblical look, like, because I don't know any other way to describe it, like vivid, biblical, epic proportion, stuff like that, and whatever you got to do.
I can imagine myself reading a
Something
script. Okay,
visceral.
make this scene of biblical epic proportions.
Yeah. Biblical
shit,
lighting
it's
is what I
gonna
say.
be a
I say,
long
like,
day.
But yeah,
say, like,
it's
biblical
gonna have
lighting.
to. It's gonna have to. Whatever that is, it's gonna have to come off as really visceral. You could just feel what's happening on the page in that spot.
Right, and that's why I don't say it with every scene, and I try to just have, because I want those to pop every now and then, like you're
Right, you
reading.
gotta
Yeah,
keep it,
yeah. If you go balls to the walls in every panel, then
Yeah.
it'll just end up getting lost. Is you lose the exclamation point when you need it. you
Yeah,
know?
it's like a highlighter. If you highlight everything on the page, how do you find the important stuff again?
Yeah, you'd have to go desaturated all of a sudden. Now suddenly it's noir for one splash page or something.
So, AC, we got one thing we need to show you before you end up leaving.
Let's get it.
Oh yeah, AC, it was your fault I was shirtless at that party too. He came out, give me a hug, and it exploded. It went everywhere. And then I was shirtless for 6 hours. That was fun.
Good times, yeah.
Care to explain yourself, what you were doing with him?
We were at Royce's barbecue, a Drink with Crazy's barbecue, and I ran into Kahuna, and I ran up and gave him a big hug, and his beer just like went everywhere, like his drink went everywhere, and it soiled his shirt, and like the mighty Hawaiian that he is, he took his shirt off and was drying it over the fire, like in the smoke and flames of the bonfire. It was awesome, and I think he just decided F it and just like left the shirt off.
I was surprised he had a shirt to show up.
Right. This is a man who makes shorts for YouTube in his shower.
Are you sure it's not just a whole excuse to take his shirt off?
It was, yeah. I mean, I probably didn't even hit his drink. He probably just was like, perfect, and then just flung it on himself,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That's what
My
I would
big worry, though, is when he streams like that from the shower. Because if he drops his phone, we're all in trouble.
And
Right.
just to bring it back to what we were talking about earlier, the Avengers scene. Have you seen this scene from Avengers?
In for a treat. Back before the war broke out, I was a saucier in San Antone. I bet I could call up some of them greens. Yeah, noodle some crawfish out the patty, yo. I made some crab apples for dessert.
I love that movie. And no, I didn't see that scene. That must be a deleted scene.
Yeah, should have left it in.
Best of Tony Stark. But
You got to
and
play
here's
Doctor
just
Doom
one
now,
clip.
I believe.
Sunshine down, the sky to town, set your body. Hold me tight, my love tonight. Tell me you everybody, summer.
Now, who do you think she's singing to in that?
I don't know, man. I didn't
I'm in love
understand the
with
word.
that woman.
Yes. She's an Italian in Germany singing to prepubescent boys.
I bet she's sold so many records.
And the song's called Boys, Boys, Boys.
Well, it's aptly named, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Boys,
Well,
boys,
James
boys.
James used that to fix the acolytes.
Yeah,
Don't to
I
fix the
did.
acolyte.
Also, AC Pritchard, when you're going over and you're critiquing Luke's pages that he gives you, you gotta
Kids
always
can
tell
fix
him.
most things.
Here's some advice. This is what you need to tell him.
So Mignola sticks Hellboy in front of the window for a nice bit of negative space. He leaves out some colored lines to hint at the shape of a window, adds some very interesting background details, and covered everything else in black. This is, of course, not the only way to draw focus to the stage.
You gotta tell him to draw focus, right?
Yeah. I'll
You
draw
always
them.
want to draw fuckus to the stage. or
That's in the
else-
script too. But
you
yeah,
you need to drop that in there, and he just be confused. See if he ever actually
draw
does
fuckus
ask
to the
me,
stage.
The stage.
what does it mean?
but yeah, like it's really simple. You just label everything. Panel 1, page 1. Panel 2, page 1.
So you do come to a point where you give him like each panel division and all that.
Right. And I could even go a step further and be like, and this is where I start kind of getting in the murky water of comics. I'm no comic expert.
Mhm.
I just know enough about writing and script writing and like cinematography where I can kind of start making this all kind of cohese together a little bit, and it works. Some sort of weird hybrid is closer to what I am. But I digress. I forgot what I forgot what I was freaking thinking. I lost my
To what point you were like granular with the description of like divisions of panels and all those details?
Oh yeah. I could go a step further and be like, yeah, make this one really long, and I want it to blend into this in this way, and
Yeah,
like
the whole panel division and all that. Yeah.
yeah, I could do that, but I just, what I did? I just said, page 1, panel 1, panel 2, panel 3.
I think most do that. Not all. I mean,
And you
there's
know what?
There's no standard, but that's what I prefer. Like I prefer to have a degree of freedom when I get with the script.
I want him, yeah, because I figured that's where he would have more idea. It's not just more about like he has more knowledge, which he does in that regard, 100%, in a lot of the art regard, actually. So I feel very much like an infant or something when I'm talking to like a real artist. That's why I like went and looked up the terminology and and stuff, and like learned it a little bit. But like reviewing movies, right? This is where some of this stuff comes into play. Like that helped. I know what an establishing shot is, and this and that, and that this is stuff that I've always known. I just went and brushed up on it and learned a few more technical terms. I think a cowboy shot, for example, is much more powerful than a portrait. It's just like a portrait, but like from the waist up. And the reason is so in American movies, you can see their gun on their holster, like on their hip.
Oh yeah, man. Even like in old French books on script writing and movie making, they call that one in French the plan américain, the American shot. Yeah. It's the cowboy with the
'cause of the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Up to the mid thigh area, and it's a really cool shot.
Give that a Dutch angle. Have it like maybe at like I don't know, some sort of tilt so that the character looks bigger, like the character's looking down at the camera, right? So they look bigger.
Hide the eyes so you don't see what his expression is.
Now you got a badass. Doesn't even matter what they, but just very much gave him the freedom on the panel layout. You can go into as much detail as you want. I could have reeled it back too and just been like a picture of this, so it's like up to you. You just label everything clearly so that like I very much felt like I was in high school again when I was writing the script, because that's kind of the area it is, except now you don't have a strict teacher telling you, like giving you an F on it or something, so you can break the rules in some regards,
It's your readers that are your final, judges.
Yeah.
And do you ever retouch the dialogue once you get the art back, or does the script stay the same from when you give it to the artist?
So since I'm the script writer and the letterer, I'm the one that's going to be, I'm the one that puts the final dialogue into the image, and also was the one that translated it from the book to the script, which is basically all that matters going forward beyond that, because like that translation is where a lot of stuff is left behind or taken with, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
Because like it doesn't make sense to describe every single thing in a caption, but like for example, my narrative style, lends itself to many captions. So you very much will see some, like, even in my comics, it's kind of some sort of hybrid of literature and comics where there's probably words on most pages because I'm still carrying details of the story along with captions. In that Game of Thrones graphic novel, you'll see that in there too. Like there's like a narration happening.
Yeah,
know?
you can always like pop open a parchment as well in a comic book and have it give a little detail away there. Hey, Lord Otter, welcome.
What
Hail,
about it?
friends. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good. We're just talking with AC Pritchard here. I don't know if you've met.
It's an honor, my liege.
You are properly excused, my lord. How are you
All
doing,
right,
Mr.
thank you.
Pritchard?
I'm doing much better now that I'm speaking to royalty. The mother maker, the mother maker himself.
Cut his head off. Cut his head off. Cut his head off.
All right, guys.
Ignore the Mogwai in the room.
So we got royalty on the bottom and a royal pain in the ass on the top.
So
Oh God.
AC's got to go, and we're going to let him reach the Iron Seas. Can you give us a little info? Where can people find you? I've got your information in the description box of the page here. But,
Perfect. Well, I before I do go, I'll say all that quick. But before I do go, I will show you what I got finished today as far as the cover.
Ooh,
yeah.
sneak preview, guys, to everyone who's
Cover
been
C,
watching
cover
up
C.
to this.
Yeah,
Cover
so-
C, interesting.
Yeah, we're gonna get cover A after about $15 more in the campaign, which is I think that's one deluxe digital order, and it gets us to the next tier.
Oh, you're
which
going to get that by tomorrow for sure.
oh, I hope so, because that gets us cover A, and essentially that is going to be the main cover. That's I mentioned biblical right
Mhm.
earlier.
Yep.
And Luke
Essentially,
Stone is a former pastor, isn't he?
he
Or-
is. So I think he knows exactly what I mean. When I say biblical lighting, I'm like biblical lighting. You can kind of imagine that like Last Supper type painting with like the light beaming in on all the divine figures, and it like happens to glow behind like Christ's head and stuff like that. And I think he's picking up what I'm laying down. You know what I mean? But I just shared the cover with you guys here.
Oh, I got it here.
Good. Boom.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Like I said, he's going to be giving it a few final touches. He said, but I'll update that as we go. This is the cover though. Cover C. This is the oversized edition.
Oversized, you say?
Yes. So you can fully enjoy the fine art of Luke Stone himself.
Is that magazine size, or what are we talking oversized?
That's a fair assessment. I haven't nailed down the final measurements of it.
Okay, we'll figure.
Yeah,
Stay
yeah.
tuned.
Basically, when I get to printing, I was gonna like knock out the fine measurements of it, but everything, the nature of like how I do everything. This campaign will be like very like all the rewards in this campaign will be very exaggerated. Like as in cranked up to 11.
Nice.
Like when I say oversized, I'm gonna get probably like the biggest print that Critical Blast has available, and when I say pocket sized, I'm gonna get the smallest print. You know what I mean? And then the normal one will be whatever normal is. So that kind of thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the holofoil cards I want to get.
Oh, I was going to ask you about cards. I started making, like, I made a prototype card for my project just to test it out, and now I am hooked. Like, I'm going to be doing cards. I've got like a template ready to draw some of the characters in there, and like I'm hooked on that. So tell me about your cards.
Yeah, I got a whole deck of tarot cards, and I'm gonna make them out of art from the book as I get pages back. I have like half of them, maybe a little bit over half of the characters made into cards, and they correspond with real, actual tarot cards. Meaning I named them myself. I gave them epic tarot card names, like the Hellfist. Here, I'll show you a couple of them, like the Hellfist and stuff, and like the Unlucky, and that's all it says on the card, But what ties them to a normal card is the number, the Roman numeral number that's on there.
Right,
Um,
right.
So each one actually corresponds with a real card if you carry that number over, and you can kind of use that. Basically, you can use them like normal cards, or you can just have fun with them and kind of do your own thing and use them with my characters and my names and kind of derive your own symbolism, just based on what I did. Which I had fun adding random aspects to them, like random geometrical shapes, like in the corner of the card. Because like I also love collecting cards. I have a magic card collection and stuff. And
Oh yeah, same here.
yeah,
I grew up playing
yeah.
Magic
And
in
so like
college and between the exams at the year's end, and we had a blast.
So I like to think that I have an eye. Here, I'm sharing the card.
Oh,
I like to think that I have an eye for like cards.
oh yeah.
So here's the backside that I designed. You can kind of like see the trim and everything, how it would go.
Oh
the bastard.
man, that's
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah, I
Is
took.
that the same colors from the book, or is it recolored?
It's the same colors from the book. So,
Okay.
and I even took this stippled design here
Yeah.
and just messed with it slightly. But I took this right out of the pages of the book. So that's stippled design from Luke Stone, much like this.
It's a screen tone, yeah.
Yeah, the screen tone, sorry.
No,
And
no problem, man. I'm a big fan of screen tone. Order some from Japan, and it costs a fortune, but it's got that old school comic vibe. He's got it in the clouds and in the letter boxes. It's beautiful.
it is beautiful. Like this is what I'm talking about, random elements. Because I can imagine this will just like look really pretty when it's foiled out, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's just like just symbolism reasons. Like I don't know, somebody's flips this card over and it has this on there. What does that mean? Well, they can ask themselves that and figure it out. You know what I mean? And I tried to add that to some of these. So
It looks like it's part Merkaba, part Triple Goddess.
oh yeah, a little bit.
I like that you went with the comic book caption boxes, even in the tarot format.
I know. I was like,
I don't
what?
think I've ever seen that before, to be honest.
And that's a cool take
Bro.
on the triquetra.
Yeah, because you're embracing the comic book
I-
source material anyway.
Yes, and I'm so excited. Like I want this. Like I want this. So, and I tried to do that with the entire project, and I hope to carry that through all the way to the end, no matter what. It's just gonna be as good as possible. So, like, you have here's the older version of the protagonist without a nose, and then here's the younger version of the protagonist with a nose. And this is during the event where he loses it. He defends his family in a blizzard. Here's the king, which is my background, and his magic crystal. These red horns are from a bear. My bears in my world of RK, some of them have horns. They're like the flat-faced bear, but like with
And
big horns.
And the front of his crown, is that from Critter's teeth?
Yeah, these are different teeth. Yeah, different animals is what it's supposed to be, and all that. Like dressed to the nine in summer colors. He's a representation of summer, but you get this blue purple tone to his skin still because he's he's a child of winter at heart. An orc.
Did you find the colorist, or is that someone Luke Stone knew to work with, or
This was part of Luke Stone's team. He has a whole team over
he
there.
has a team working with him?
Yeah. And if one of his team members can't do it or whatever, I mean, obviously he himself knows how to
I
color.
like how they make the crystal glow pop.
I know, I love it. This, like, I was really impressed. I was like, clever stuff there, Luke. That was cool.
It looks
And-
really good. Really, even zoomed up, it looks really good.
Oh yeah, that's like, it doesn't really, it doesn't fade too much. It's like it always is. And yeah, I was really impressed when I got these back. This is the world card, I believe. That's what these numbers translate to.
Yeah.
So this one is I'm proud of this one because it's super misleading, but it's anybody who reads the story will understand if they look into the symbolism of the world card from normal tarot. Essentially, this looks really bad, but it's not bad, right?
You gotta you gotta do the reading to understand.
Yeah, it's not bad because like the world, okay, and then like more stuff there. I don't know what that means for whoever needs to see it, but there you go. And then like the twins, Some dualism here. You know, you got like gray colors and then like green. I don't know. I had fun just pulling art from the comic and making
That one's
cards.
beautiful. That one
I
looks
love it.
absolutely alive right
I
in
know.
front of your eyes, man.
I
The hair and
know.
everything.
Yeah, the hair is one of my favorite parts. It creates a really nice. He did a really nice silhouette with that hair.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
almost looks like Alphonse Mouchard. I don't know if you know Mouchard, the French artist who did the very stylistic cafe illustrations that turned into high art. He did a lot of the advertising for rolling paper back in the 17 or 1800s or something.
oh wow,
Yeah, he had all that hair detail with the swirling, and it turns into graphic design almost. You know what I mean? Like
beautiful.
it's not just an illustration; it turns into part of the design.
It's amazing. So yeah, this is Usyk the Unlucky. He's the bard on the ship, and they call him Unlucky because he has this beautiful red hair. And the reason is orcs live in Arctic, right? Snow, stone, ice. So when you have
Stands
bright
out
red
as
hair,
much.
yeah, bright red hair, that snow bear with horns is going to see you. So
Interesting. I never thought of that.
yeah,
An orc with
yeah.
red hair.
There's the appeal to my story. Like I'm lucky enough to have the beautiful art of Luke Stone. This is the young version of the king before, like right after he lost his eye, right after, and then you can see what he was doing to give up his eye, right? Finding the crystal. Some
Just for
Indiana
some
Jones shit.
callbacks to Odin.
A little bit, yep, yeah, and also a connect to my novel because there's a murder stigmata is what I call it, and that reoccurs within my novel. There's a murder that happens early on, and every subsequent one after that resembles the first one, and it's like this divine stigmata that's representing itself throughout the story, and I'm going to carry that over throughout all my stories. I think they're going to lose an eye, they're going to spit out some teeth. The description of red tears, if that's ever used, you ever see me use the description red tears, then it's a divine event, kind of like it's like an important event, like a big deal, kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, like this is that would be when the biblical lighting comes in, right? But yeah, I digress. This is the final one there, so yeah, happy to show those off. They're
Spectacular. Thank you, man, for the preview.
yeah,
Exclusive, guys, here on Proof of Comics.
for real.
Yeah, we're
I'm
an
happy to do it.
important show now. You've heard it here first.
And I actually don't have to explain too much about the story after showing those because you can kind of see glimpses into it a little bit, and just seeing like the bard and like the king young and old, the protagonist young and old and stuff. Now
So that story is in the book I'm fixing to read.
yeah, that's the third one right before the poem. So
Yeah, I will definitely be contacting you after I read that.
I hope you do.
Because we had discussed doing versus videos with some of
Yes.
the characters, and once I have an actual computer that can handle it, I'll start doing that stuff again.
Mhm.
I never got a second versus video out before it crapped out on me. So
I'd say as far as D&D classes go, the first character, the first protagonist is the closest thing to something like a wizard or a sorcerer. So that kind of power. And but she's quite powerful. The second one is kind of more like your street level, but I would say like a ranger. But like good ranger.
You know what class Christian is playing?
What's that?
The Probomancer.
Oh my god. That's
I
going to have taken out of context. That makes zero sense, but it's still funny.
You got to play the Necroprancer.
The what?
You got to play as the Necroprancer.
The Necroprancer.
Oh!
Yeah, he rides on an undead pony. Prancing pony.
Oh,
And he prances around if you want. Make him a bard. Who cares?
And there's the dad joke.
yeah. Yeah. But
Took us an hour and 19 minutes. We finally got it.
yeah. But I suppose my fellow seamen are wondering where I am, boys.
well, thank you so much for coming on, AC. Like
It was a pleasure.
blast, and we hope to have you on again to continue the conversation, and some of your other co-hosts on the Iron Seas as well. So, go check him out after we finish this show, of course. Before,
Yes,
but
yes,
yeah,
of course.
check him out on the Iron Seas.
We're talking Two Towers, Lord of the Rings Two Towers, this week, and I believe B.S. Warren is our guest, so I'm excited.
Nice.
And you guys hit either me, my wife up for Pritchard Pub, or anybody among the Iron Seas to be a guest over there. We'd love to have you talk about your project just like we did here. Review a movie, have some fun,
That'd be awesome, man.
Oh, it's an experience. I remember being on there.
It is.
You think we're brutal when we're picking on Kahuna? That is nothing to how these guys all talk to each other. The whole show. You guys are brutal.
Yeah, we say the R word. No boy.
That's
oh
okay.
boy.
So do we.
Okay, good. All right. You guys have a good
Have
one.
a good
right?
one, AC. Thanks for coming on, man.
Have a good one, man.
Making fun of someone with a disability is retarded.
Yes.
You don't say.
It's a fact.
I don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Indeed.
Trigger warning. Trigger. Oh, too late.
Way too late.
Oh boy.
We have a little Spider-Man cartoon here. Do you think it's you want to watch it again, Billy Bob? You watched it before.
Nice work, Spider-Man.
Likewise, Spider-Man.
Hey, you, Spider-Man!
I don't need to explain how that's confusing.
You, the original one. Don't you see what's going on?
Canada's in decline?
No, yes, but no, with the other guy. There can't be two Spider-Men. That don't make no sense.
Buddy, there were like 4 before I even got involved.
Oh, come on. Can't you see it? You're being replaced.
Seriously?
All right, calm down. I'm not being replaced.
Yes, you are. You're being replaced, and you're just letting it happen.
Hey, shut up.
But I'm just saying that...
Listen to me. He's not replacing me.
But, yeah, but...
I'm replacing me with him.
What?
Don't you fuck this for me.
But
Because I'm tired, man. I've been doing this shit since I was in high school. I've been swinging these streets since Kennedy was in office.
Well, fair, I guess.
All these years, and you know what that's gotten me? Yeah, everyone I know and love has either died, come back, and then died again. I've died. I'm more death than Spider.
Christ, man.
I mean, this is my one and only shot. I mean, do you understand how rare it is for someone to just, materialize with your exact same powers, with the exact same name, not born of a test tube with your DNA? I mean, this is my golden ticket right here, man.
Okay, wait, I didn't. You totally left that part out.
Oh, God damn it. See what you did? You scared him away.
You just said it'd be like punching bad guys and stuff. I don't want to see people die.
Oh, so now you don't want to see your loved ones dying in front of you. Well, do you even want to be Spider-Man?
Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
What are you doing?
That's what I said. I'm gonna do my own thing. That's like the thing I say. It's like something I say.
Yeah, but there's something everyone says. I mean, is that like your catchphrase? You kind of said it like it was. If it is, we got to work on it.
Yeah, and what's your catchphrase?
Well, it's a great power, great responsibility thing.
That's not a catchphrase.
It's totally a catchphrase.
That's a mantra. That's not like it's not a reactionary phrase. It's just highly situational.
What? And I'm gonna do my own thing is?
Yeah, but like I do my own thing.
And I've got great responsibility.
Yeah, and everyone has responsibility. So.
But not everyone has great power.
I mean, power is subjective.
Well, Confucius
Don't
once said.
confuse me. I swear to God.
All right, enough. Look, you can want to replace me all you want, but just look at this guy. It's all wrong.
Any particular reason you might feel that way?
Well, I mean, for one thing, why does he got to be Spider-Man? I mean, you're Spider-Man. He can do his own thing, right? Why don't we just call him Spidey, huh?
I mean, better than the black one. We'll call him Spidey, too, so we really just circled back.
Anything else?
What, do I got to spell it out for you? He's black.
What the fuck?
Spider-Man is supposed to be red and blue.
Oh.
I mean, no offense, we all remember the last time when you was black. With all the Venom stuff. Everyone knows a black Spider-Man is an evil Spider-Man.
There are a lot of layers to what you just said.
Greetings, Spider-Punks. Hope I didn't shock you.
Not this guy again.
Well, I'm glad to run into the two of you, as I have a friend I'd like to introduce. Meet the new Electro!
Hope we didn't shock you.
No, hun, I just used that one.
Aw, what?
Come on, dude, really? A frickin' chick? You're even wearing the same outfit. Don't you see you're being replaced?
I am?
Okay, that time you were right.
Yeah, that was clearly her plan from the
No,
beginning.
without a doubt. I mean, the same costume. They were wearing
Red
the same.
flags everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, the length people go to be the only one.
Right. Ow! What the fuck was that?
I was just checking.
Checking what?
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool, man.
I love Spider-Man. I love me some Spider-Man cartoons.
At least 4 different lawsuits right there.
How to get canceled. Patrick hates Miles Morales. That is pretty good. I don't know who did it, unfortunately. It's Found Media on Twitter.
You know what? That reminds me. I'm going to show you this now. Hold up.
When he said now, he
Stop
meant
talking.
later.
Keep talking. Keep talking.
So, yeah, subject, topic, conversation.
Stuff that Billy Bob wants to show us. Let's talk about it.
Oh, you know the guy who does those videos? It's pretty funny.
Hey, y'all remember Spider-Man 2? The new game?
The game, yeah, I heard, yeah, it had a lot of issues.
Yeah, and it didn't sell well like people fucking cope over. Anyways, this is what his new outfit looks like. Miles Morales.
Interesting.
What do you mean new outfit? Because the game's already out. Is this for an add-on or?
No. This was in the game. This was his big reveal of his own outfit.
Was revealed.
That's what he came up with.
James, you got a public apology there.
It happens at least once a year.
I think that's legally binding.
Hold on. Scroll back down again, Billy. What was that
You are
alternate color
publicly
palette?
forgiven.
Publicly forgiven.
That
Patrick.
actually looks kind of cool. The red and white one.
No.
Get rid of the hood.
He's wearing a hoodie and fucking sneakers.
You don't need those.
And he has a cutout on the top of his head so he can have his black.
Oh, I thought he was just
Very
wearing.
black
I thought he was wearing a mask.
It's urban.
I didn't think he had like a whole hood pulled over his head.
No. He has a. Look at this.
That's the dumbest part of it right there.
Well, yeah, because could you imagine the mask if he
I'm
left his
maintaining
hair?
a secret identity.
But dude, the mask would be like gigantic over his hair. Like,
Not if he
I
compresses
like the
his
torso
fucking
and
hair.
arm design though.
But it's already compressed. That's the thing.
Listen, this is stupid. This is horrible.
Well, yes.
It's really
And then
stupid.
it's a hoodie and sneakers.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. But the torso and arm design, I think that's kind of cool.
I am the Spider-Man, says Tenkage. How you
Here
doing,
it is.
Tenkage?
Here's an end game.
Patrick, who's correctly pronouncing Tenkage from the chat room. Impressive.
Look at it now.
Yeah, it's like he's taking out the secret in the secret identity.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I agree with you. Get rid of the open top. Yeah, I thought he was just wearing a mask on his face. I didn't realize there's a
Do
whole
this.
thing down
Get
his
rid of the
neck.
hoodie. Get rid of
Get rid of the
this.
hoodie, get rid of that.
Get rid of the sneakers. It's fucking stupid.
Why don't just get rid of Miles Morales and get it over with?
Well, he has a big fan base, so let it be.
Yeah,
But
the
no,
problem
I
is
do
you're never gonna get rid of him. I mean, he does have people that like him,
Yeah,
whether we like it or not. He does have like
he doesn't
young
bother
kids
me.
and stuff who like him and stuff. So
But the
make him cool.
arachnid limbs coming out down the arm and down the sides, I think that's neat.
You gonna buy this Funko Pop?
No,
Oh dear Lord!
no, I'm definitely not.
Like that can't be good, man. That's gotta.
That accentuates what you were talking
That's
about.
bad juju, man.
Oh my god.
We gotta talk, Patrick. We gotta talk. Make sure we get this project X-Day on the Morales me. Yeah, in Minecraft.
I have no problem with Miles Morales existing. He doesn't bother me.
I kind of do.
Yeah.
Like, don't be calling
Yes,
yourself
the
Spider-Man.
open top head and hoodie and sneakers was dumb. I don't disagree with you on
Yeah,
that.
but give him a different name.
Yeah, I
doesn't
agree with
even
you on
name
that
Spider-Man.
too. He needs to not be called Spider-Man. He needs. I mean, nobody calls him Spider-Man. They all call him Miles. Everybody who.
Yeah, it's like Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Like that's the thing. Like just
Get-
make him
get
his own
him his
hero.
own
He doesn't
name.
have to like
Absolutely.
replace Spider-Man or whatever.
Yeah. No, he has a few things that sets him apart in his own fan base, and he is off doing his own thing. But you're right. Get rid of the Spider-Man name. That doesn't make sense. Now I watched a thing today on.
Is he
Psylocke.
really that different from? I don't. If I remember correctly, like his original story was like a carbon copy of Peter Parker, and like nothing different.
Pretty
from him.
much, but he's
So
got different
an OC.
personality, a few different powers that the other spider people don't.
Oh my
have.
God, Miles Morales is an OC.
Listen, Miles Morales is Miles Morales.
That's right. No, but I never realized the full the change that was made in Psylocke in recent years, or actually an unchange. But are you guys all familiar with? You're all familiar with Psylocke and her history, right?
Psylocke from the X-Men?
Yeah.
She's half Asian, right?
No, she's actually British, and her mind was transferred into another body of a Japanese woman.
Oh, right. So it's a
But-
British brain in a Japanese body.
Well, Betty Braddock is now back in her original form, and the woman whose body she was in, her name's Kwan, is now back in that body. However, Betsy Braddock is now, I guess, in the role of Captain Britain, and Kwan, who is now back in her original body but still has all of Braddock's memories and same abilities, is off doing what she used to do. She's joined the X-Men, and she goes by Psylocke still. So when you go see Psylocke, even though she looks the same, she's technically a different character now.
Hold up. Patrick, everyone in DC and Marvel is now, right?
Yeah, it's by default now.
Oh, seriously? She was my
Are
main.
you really
in,
surprised,
Marvel versus
Frequency? Are you really surprised?
I guess not. I thought they would have left her alone. I don't know why.
No. Also, here's Spooderman, the true successor to Spider-Man.
There's also Pigman. Pig Spider-Man.
Spider Pig.
Spider Pig.
Yes. Does whatever a Spider Pig does.
Evidently,
Is there,
someone modded in Spooderman.
Isn't there like
You're coming home with me?
there's got to be a Spider-Man in a wheelchair alternate universe as well.
Oh, there is. Remember, there was that like fan contest, like cover shit. Hold up.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, I had no idea that they did that to her though. I heard 90s Psylocke was peak Psylocke.
Yeah, drawn by Jim Lee.
Oh, remember this one? This one.
Oh, he's got a baseball cap with the. Is this Miles Morales or Spider-Man?
This was the like paraplegic Spider-Man.
Oh,
Like I think it was like a fan contest
so
or some
his
shit.
wheelchair is on his back
Yeah.
while he's swinging, and because he doesn't need his. But you still need your legs to swing, don't you? Or I guess you could do it without your legs.
Yeah, but the
about
thing is, they'll be
timing, though?
flailing everywhere. That's the problem.
Haven't
climbing?
you ever seen Happy Gilmore? It's all in the hips.
So does she have control?
Yeah, but the
over-
legs will still be flailing everywhere
Yeah,
while
they
they're
would.
swinging through the city.
It would be like an episode of Family Guy whenever Joe is doing some action scene and his legs are just like flopping like windsocks behind him with everything he does.
Why is the coloring so bad in this? By the way, it's so.
Who knows?
Thing looks like like plastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
Patrick
go. There you go,
corrected us.
Yeah, all of Marvel is.
See,
now
look,
in a
she's
bad
Spooderman's
place.
here, and then she gets in her LGBTQ plus blah 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 blah. That's my Z double X 194 square down. Dress.
Spider plegic. Oh, there you go, man. That's why you're the writer, Patrick.
Anyways,
Yeah, and then there's the Osborns.
Oh, no, get me started, man. I thought that was a woman, and it's Harry Osborn. It's like, come on.
didn't they race
Hollywood
swap?
hates
Didn't
redhead.
they just race swap Norman and Harry Osborn?
Race, and he looks like a girl, yeah.
Who?
Harry.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, he's got his hair back in a bun. I thought it was
They
a girl.
Netflixed him.
It looks like a librarian. It's all in the trailer. I guess we could watch it. Is that going to trigger?
I don't know. Is there copyright music in it?
I don't think.
You know what? It doesn't really matter. Go for
Yeah,
it.
trailers. Let me find it. Hold on.
What's it called?
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man on Disney
That's
Plus.
it. Are you looking it up? I'll let you look it up.
Yeah, you don't want to get it off my computer. It'll chug real bad. My signal's been garbage lately.
Do you want me to pull it up, Billy Bob? Or
Well, I fucking clicked on it and it's just a black screen. Let me try again.
all right. If not, share the link and I'll figure it out on this end.
It just does not want to play.
All right, send me the link in the privates, and I'll try it on this end.
What's in here? Bitch. Hold up.
Do it now.
Do it now.
Just do it.
Do you think we'll just talk in memes in the future, and we'll have lost all communication? Otter,
You know, in a weird way, we're already kind of headed that way, because we're actually getting like government agencies that are just memes now.
yeah, it's idiocracy. Like, when's going to be the first book that's going to be written with just memes, and then there's going to be the last book that's written in English, and from then on, it's all books are memes.
And they will evolve over time.
Have you not seen any brain rot video game?
In the far
videos?
future, they're going to think our main written language was pictographs.
I mean, to be fair, it is my main language. All right, let me grab that.
Why you gotta keep reminding us that you're a dirty Frenchman?
I'm not dirty. What are you talking about? And I'm not.
I
Really
don't shower.
I'm
all right?
not really a Frenchman.
You are a Frenchman.
A depressed guy smoking a cigarette is not a movie.
Hold up.
I'm an American now.
Say
I'm
your
like
last name again.
51st state, baby.
Hold up, Frederick. Say your last name again.
Guimau.
Mm,
It's a
very
French name, yes, but nah, that there's
very
generations.
French.
You know, there's
And you speak
generations.
French.
I do.
I sent you a link.
So
to play.
you're from the
Yeah,
Caribbean.
I'm sharing it right now.
Do it.
Here we go. Do you see it? Bring it up.
There you go.
All right, let me full screen it, and then we'll. How's this?
Peter, you're gonna be late.
Sorry, man. I'm okay.
Hey. Petey's always been a bit clumsy.
You know me, clumsy, Petey, Parker. Help! Mr. Campbell, I remembered I left something in the bathroom. Deuces. Parker.
Why the fuck are we getting another like Spider-Man in high school fucking story?
Right.
Because why not? We haven't told this story enough times already. All right.
Because it was originally intended to be a prequel to the MCU version, but that has since changed. Because we don't have enough prequels.
And why is he pretending to be like a cool rapper, like when he's supposed to be just a scientist?
Because he's racist, clearly.
Clearly.
Yeah.
He's got to overcome his whiteness, you know.
He's like cringe white rapper.
All right, continue.
This became its own thing,
Ouch.
yet still is played with.
Superpower size kid. Know you want a neighbor like me. Look out. Somebody help me. He's running. Grab him. Gotcha. I thought it was Dan Meat. Check out our next victim in his dumbass costume. Is my suit really that bad?
That's
It's supposed to be
Norman.
for kids, and he said dumbass.
That's his friend. That's Harry Osborn.
Now, how much you want to bet those kids were after him
fuck.
because of his
Why is his lips?
ambiguous identity?
That looks like the black chick from She-Hulk.
Exactly. It doesn't look like a man, and it doesn't look wrong. It's
Anyways, continue.
yes. So
Are you sure
we're
you
all
want
basically we're all racists, is what that means.
Ouch. Oh! Watch out for that ladder. Just
Yeah, I thought it
consider
said it
it a
was
good deed
97.
from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Pause.
That's me, by the way.
Didn't it say Spider-Man 97 earlier?
No, X-Men 97.
Why did it say X-Men 97?
Because it's the name of the show.
The show is called X-Men 97 about Spider-Man?
No, it's another show. They're referencing another show within the
Yeah,
trailer.
X-Men 97 is the continuation of the series that ended.
Why is that in this trailer for Spider-Man?
Where do you see that?
Who cares? Who knows?
No, I don't know what you're saying.
Product.
No,
you
literally,
know?
when he first swings with the suit around
It's in the beginning of the
around
trailer. Yeah.
building, I saw 97. I was like, all right, is this taking place in the 90s?
It's when he swings. It's
Yeah.
like Marvel promo thing.
But X-Men 97 is a completely different
I
kind.
don't know, but don't put
Spider-Man already exists in that.
Boy, I'm Spider-Man.
There we go again. Swinging through the city so fast you could barely notice him.
I truly believe that I have these powers to help people, to protect them.
Need my city, you need me. Taking off the mask.
Oh, yeah, I think you're gonna see him. Yeah, you see him at the end. What? Look for it.
Know what you see. Know you want a neighbor like me. Just a young man cleaning up the streets. Ain't nothing changed, no this.
Another freaking tired Matrix reference.
The real me.
So, you're Spider-Man. With my help, you'll achieve greatness.
Oh man, this suit's incredible. If you ever need another butt kicking, just look for your
I need to
friendly
post that
neighborhood
one.
Spider-Man.
Know you want a neighbor like
And no, you may
myself.
not be excused
My
from
neighbors.
said test.
Hey, my neighbors.
Nice of you to join us, Mr. Parker. See me after class.
All right, let me pull up the one meme.
I thought we saw Doctor.
If they want to give us a Spider-Man we actually want, it would be him with Mary Jane during or after college.
Hold up. I got the perfect meme for it. Which is a little kind of funny because I think I posted this like a month ago or something. If you remember, Otter? Hold up.
I
Yeah,
think I
Patrick,
know what you're
Hollywood
talking about.
hates redheads.
Oh man, that's what they
I do
did.
not remember this actually.
You know, I posted. I got it from like another Discord server, and this is like back in fucking Thanksgiving.
Oh my god. For some reason, I don't remember that.
Yeah. So, do you guys think this is going to be the kiss of death for this show, or what?
Nah, I think it'll just it's another slop. Maybe kids watch it and enjoy it. I don't know. This meme is perfect, and the meme works even more now because of this shit.
It's one of those things that become even more relevant after the fact.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
If things don't change, Marvel is doomed.
Yeah, man. Marvel and DC both. They're like, it's the same thing that happened to He-Man, man. It's like,
Yeah.
they make they have great success, and then the women get jealous and they're like, you got to give us half of this. And then they start playing in it, and then they have no interest with the characters. They're not, these are men's stories. These are young men's heroes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
You have
rare.
Disney.
Well,
They-
I don't think it's
they-
the fact that it's like women wanting to be a part of it. It's the type of like non-fans who want to be part of it but don't want to understand the source material.
Mhm.
I think that's the big problem.
A lot of times they have disdain for the characters.
Right. It's like it's not really them wanting to honor the property. It's them wanting attention, fame, fortune, all that sort of thing, but at the expense of something else. They don't care.
They're kind of using it to get it's the middleman to get into Hollywood. It's go through comics.
We're going to expand our audience by appealing to this 0.10% of the population, and we're going to focus so hard on it that everyone else loses interest. And we're going to pander so bad that the people we're actually targeting don't want to watch either. What a business plan.
Yeah, it never works out.
Now
Never watched
that's a
that.
big brain plan.
But I think things are changing on the horizon, folks. It's like things are looking different.
Yeah, we do need to let it cycle through still.
Slowly but surely.
The last of the sludge has got to get pumped out. What do you think? Another 2 years or 3?
It's looking fast, man. I mean, today Trump's been talking about annexing Canada through economic force. All the politicians are saying, no, it'll never happen. But they said that about him getting elected as well. And look where we are now.
Hey, look at that, Trudeau. Your economy's terrible. Whose fault is that? That's yours.
And Trudeau's already resigned, and there's no one taking his place yet. And they don't even know if, like, it's a shit show right now. It's like so much uncertainty. The dollar still went up. The Canadian dollar went up when Trudeau resigned, so that should tell you something.
Wow.
I'm not endorsing you buy Canadian dollars. But it's a fun fact, you know. Because, you know, better to keep your money in Bitcoin. But, of course, if everybody does that, you know, how it's going to end.
Well, if Bitcoin will become the ultimate type of a form of the currency been adopted by human society, I can tell exactly what's going to happen as the worst scenario or the must scenario. We're all going to die. This is not a joke.
Yeah, so careful, guys. We're all going to die.
It's always good to listen to the experts.
Exactly.
Like
right.
that guy you tend to play, very wise, talking about the people in the nation and how all about what democracy is. That guy's brilliant.
Which guy?
Oh man. As soon as I say the punchline, it's not fun playing the video anymore.
Oh, okay, well.
The people are
the Osho clip. Yeah.
But the people are retarded.
Yes, Shri Rajneesh, also known as Osho.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
Never gets old.
He's got a point.
I think we're about ready for a wrap up.
We are, but before we do, I want to play this clip one more time because I love it. All right, and that's enough comics for today.
That's right.
Let's head on out here.
Hit it!
Convoy, 12 o'clock, on my command! Deploy! Okay, now. Little off course here. Ooh, holy mommy fucking shit!
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
And here we are, starting from bottom left, right. the other left.
I
James.
thought you were gonna say we were the princes of the universe.
Here
Yes,
we
the
are.
Power Bottom James.
Born to be king.
Our
Yes.
lawyer, life coach, and
Life coach. All of the above and so much more.
He's
you
also
can
an
find-
astronaut.
Yeah. In my other life,
shapeshifter.
I shapeshift very often. It's kind of my thing. Go to school. You can find everything that I produce at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com, as I am a fantasy writer and I write in a singular world, and I release short stories every now and then. I try to keep up with a monthly schedule, but that can be a little difficult, but I'm still at it. Follow me there. I release videos, I release short stories, I release a lot of stuff, actually, all jam-packed and lore-driven, to flesh out characters, introduce interesting plot lines, and explore a thriving world of adventure. Now we're going to shoot it off to the otter next to me.
Well said, my man. Well said. Otter, you got to beat that.
Squeak, 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 athletic tits. I write fantasy and a bit of sci-fi when I'm in the mood. You can find my book, Steel and Stormbright, on Amazon. It has a lot of, well, not so much otters, but it has plenty of fantasy, magic, brotherhood, and, of course, athletic titties. Also lots of adventure, because I really like writing adventure. I am about to put up my next review for the Wizard Stone here in the next day or so, so be on the lookout for that.
The Wizard's Stone.
Yes, the Stoned Wizard.
Interesting. I didn't know you wrote sci-fi as well as
By a
fantasy.
guy that looks like a giant nug.
I dabble. I haven't published anything, of course, but I dabble in sci-fi every now and again. Sci-fi and some horror.
Oh, horror. That's another genre that's very interesting. It's hard to do it with a comic, though, but I've thought about it.
That is true.
Wrangler, Frequency Studios.
Well, you know, I'm something of a sci-fi writer myself.
Nice callback.
Yeah, you can find my books on Amazon, Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. You could also find me on Substack under Frequency Studios, where I just released New World Detectives, The Legend of Shalar, which is a follow-up to the books. And you can also find me on, what are they called now? The X Twitter, Truth, Minds, all under Frequency Studios.
Did you mention Weekly Wing It on the YouTubes?
I did not. You also catch me on YouTube. Go do a channel search for @Wrangler212, and you'll find me there. And you can you'll find us every Monday night starting at 8:05 p.m. Eastern, where pretty much everybody here shows up on the panel quite often. And about a 2-hour show, open topic discussion. Drop by, hang out with us.
Sounds good. Awesome. Billy Bobsack.
I'm eating an orange. Wow.
No, hold on. You got a
Clip
pimp. his-
that. No. Ouch. That's what happens when you give Billy Bob power. Believe me, I found out the hard
Never
way.
give Billy Bob power.
I see.
Yes, he will use it.
He's like the gremlin in the plane. Like
That's Mugwai.
you fuck things up, but he also makes things work at the same time. So, but yeah, no, you've also got. I will shill
That
for
was a
you.
good orange.
I will shill for you if you will not shill,
Nah,
because
don't worry about
I'm
it.
part of the shill as well. So it's a little bit self-serving, and he's got a nice review of Rook Exodus, the comic book by Jason Fabok and who's the writer's name again? Jeff Johns. Yes. And you've got two parts on your channel so far, and you're editing part 3 at the moment, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first, gentlemen. So long. Thank you for joining us tonight. It was an awesome episode. Thank you to AC Pritchard for coming on and telling us about his writing process. And we're going to fact check everything with Luke Stone tomorrow on the Comicsgate Commandos. So stay tuned with us. So goodbye, everybody.
God bless everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Au revoir.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you.